Ride the Tide Sports Podcast is brought to you by Vegas Sports Advantage.
Welcome to VegasSportsAdvantage.com, the website where you can win with us. It doesn't matter if your favorite team is playing.
It doesn't matter what you think.
What matters is which team has the best odds to win. Our MIT team has had a winning record every year for the past 15 years. This gives us the confidence to guarantee all of our packages. We have the highest verified record. Don't miss out. Get in the game. It doesn't matter which sport it is.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Win with Vegas Sports Advantage. Go to VegasSportsAdvantage.com to start winning today.
He made it. How about that? Luke made it on time. I know no one talked to him previous except for really me. I just called him, told him, hurry up. We're about to start the pod. And here he is. Welcome, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Ride the Tide Ride the Tide Sports Podcast, episode 26. We got a lot of football to talk about today. We do have some other things to mention before we get to the football. We got college football today. We got NFL tomorrow. We also have the Thursday night recap of Thursday night's football game. So, I mean, let's get into it. How are you guys doing today?
Well, I'm a little tired, not going to lie.
Oh, really? When did you wake up? When I called you?
Honestly, that might have been the time. But all fairness, I would have been here 10 minutes earlier time if my computer wasn't so slow turning on for the first time in like 2 days. I don't know why. If I don't turn it on daily, it just turns into an absolute dino.
Heard that. Dylan, I actually called you this morning, and this is the first thing I want to talk about on today's podcast because it happened right down the street, and I don't think you've heard about it because, I mean, I feel like you would have told me. But the Dakota high school game, Dakota football game last night, yeah. $5,000 kick, 45 yards, what?
Yeah, do you know who made it?
Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah, used to coach that man back in my basketball coaching days.
What?
That is wild.
What?
Victor Kukarko
Yes.
For those
kicked
of you
a
who don't know,
45-yard
for those who are
field goal.
confused, in the state of Michigan, there was a big high school football rivalry between Dakota and Chip. During that game yesterday, there was a man who was offered $5,000 if he hit, I believe, a 50-yard field goal. I could be wrong. 45-yard field goal. And he banged it. I mean, he's a soccer player, plays soccer all of his damn life, so he did have some advantage. But it's not easy to make it. He banged it. He won. Dakota beat Chip, the number 3 team in the state yesterday also. So, I mean, I ain't going to.
Yeah, our running back had what, 270 yards on 42
that
touches.
Alone is an absolute machine.
Yeah. Okay. 270 yards on 42 touches. According to Sandy, who I talked to this morning, Sandman, she told me that the coach said that they were gonna, limit him because he had a hamstring issue, and so the coach gave it to him 42 times instead of 50. That's what the coach said. He said I was gonna give it to him 50, but we stayed at 42 because he had a hamstring problem. Like, oh, okay, so he could have had 350 yards.
I mean, it went how it went last year. On the field, Dakota won the game, and then off the field, Chip won all the fights. I mean, it was the same bullshit as last year.
Okay, because I heard there was a couple fights at this game too. So it was Dakota and Chip people fighting. It wasn't like people from the same side.
There was a big one of where there was Chip people in the Dakota people in the Chip student section, and then I don't think I have to say anything more than that.
Oh, that's never good.
That's pretty much speaks for itself. I also heard that a cop got punched in the face, so that's never good.
What?
The cop got punched in the face, and a principal got a water bottle hit back of the head. Big guy, Mr. Downham. Yeah.
Oh no, not Mr. Downham.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
It was a whole situation.
I heard a rumor that one of our teams has an NFL player's son.
It would be on Chip. I didn't have to go to.
Yeah. Supposedly it's Vernon.
He wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, prove that rumor. Prove it.
Prove it.
Look up the roster.
I'm on his cell phone. I'm the one that got to back out. So, like, I was hoping you would.
Right.
You on the laptop.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into some college football today. All right. We're gonna start at local, and then we're gonna talk about a couple other games. Let's start off Northern Illinois at Michigan. Let's just hear some thoughts here.
My only thought is go blue. Because they're about to smack them.
Yeah, I don't think this one's close.
This one's not going to be anywhere near close.
Michigan.
No.
When does Michigan play some goddamn competition? I mean, I get that last week it was competition.
Most of the weeks after
like competition on the field.
Yeah, most of the games they have after this, they actually play people that are worth the shit.
All right.
You got.
I know State I feel like Miami and shit today, so it's just getting annoying.
You don't always.
Yeah, so that one I feel like it's just an easy bet.
I go Michigan.
Yeah. But moving on. Michigan State going to Miami. What do we think here? There's a lot to think about from a Mel Tucker Michigan State team that we haven't seen a whole lot of, but everything that we have seen has been really good on the Michigan State side. And then they got Miami, who is a powerhouse, but has been struggling to start the year.
Yeah, and I mean,
Dylan, I'm gonna go to you first.
King has not been he has not been produced in the way that people thought he was going to be for Miami. But I mean, we're 2 weeks in, so let's chill out. I think regardless of the outcome of this game, I will just say this should be a great close game. I think it will be a really physical game. I think it will be a down to the wire type of game. But I ultimately do think that Miami will pull it out in the last couple minutes. Just overall talent and the depth chart that they have does beat Michigan State. But obviously I'm rooting for Michigan State, and I think it will be a very close game.
Solid take. And Michigan State, they do say that they will play all of their players like they are starters because half their roster is transfers. So anytime you're put in that game as a Michigan State player, they are treating you like a starter because they got to find out what they have in all their players. So, Luke, we'll go to you next. What do you think?
Well, I'm thinking I'm going to have to brew up a little Michigan lay like I did last week that missed by 1 point. I'm thinking Michigan State actually comes out hot, and with Miami struggling to start the season, I think State takes advantage of that easy and comes out on top on that one, hitting the over as well.
Okay,
whatever the
for
over
sure.
is.
For sure. Luke's banging the over no matter what it is at all. Jesse, we'll hear from you, and then we'll move on to the next game here.
Michigan State over.
Thank you, Jesse.
Short and sweet.
Words from the Wanderer right there. Then next up, we got Alabama going into Florida, taking on the Gators. Will it be close? Will it not be close?
It won't be close.
That's really what we're looking for here. What do we think?
My heart is just constantly telling me, go Gators.
Okay, and I respect that, but they're playing Alabama.
But yeah, I was going to say, I'll give 12.
That's the big
It's
issue.
Bama.
You just don't bet against Bama, but like you just I don't know.
Luke wants to bet against
I
bet against Bama.
He wants to bet all
I want
up
to.
against
I
Bama.
want to. But it's probably not going to work out. Like,
All right, so are you doing it or not? Final decision.
you know what? Let's do it. I'm
All
riding
right.
Florida.
Florida it is. Lock it in. Anybody else with them? I'm not.
How
don't
much?
How much they winning by, Luke?
It's gonna if they win, it's gonna be close.
Oh,
Might be in
it's
might
definitely
in
going to be
overtime.
close.
Might be in overtime. Might be an
Oh, man.
overtime grind to the finish.
I can definitely see that if they get the dub. Yes.
It's the only way to do it.
Moving on, we got the Auburn Tigers going into Penn State. Also, like to remind everybody, if you do not know, that this is Penn State's whiteout game. Good luck winning it.
This is the game I'm most excited for today out of my entire schedule. I think Auburn has been playing great football, and they have a great team this year. And then you're going to go into a whiteout game at Penn State. On top of it, we already know that the Penn State whiteout games are iconic for what they are. But when you take them away for 2 years, you already know that it's going to be fucking bumping and absolute wild
mayhem.
Return tonight.
It's gonna
it's
throw
a very
off
hard
Auburn.
game to win for Auburn.
It's gonna throw off Auburn immediately as soon as they step out on that field for warm-ups. Gonna be shook.
So I think Penn State takes this one pretty easily. I think Auburn might put up a fight in the first half, but I think that Penn State's crowd is gonna play a major factor in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take
Auburn shuts them hell up early. They're gonna talk all game.
Oh, for sure. And then the last game we have here, the primetime game tonight, 7:30, Virginia at North Carolina. North Carolina still needs to show out with Sam Howell, the quarterback that's early running supposed to be one of the Heisman guys, but so far hasn't played like that. So I think that this is definitely a game where he has to show out, and I think North Carolina has to win by at least more than 14 points for them to really make a statement in this game.
I agree.
I got Carolina.
Honestly, I think I might agree with you too.
Dylan?
That's a solid point.
Yeah, I got NC. I got Sam Howell having his best game of the year. I'm going over 400 yards today.
That was a solid point. I did not know.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that. And let's get into a little bit of baseball here, wrapping up college football there. Dylan, take it away, my guy.
I mean, this is a man that is having a career season this year in the MLB, and not a soul is talking about it. Salvador Perez, the catcher for the Kansas City Royals, has now tied the MLB league leading home runs with 46. And let me just say something right now. This man, Salvador Perez, has been raking all season, but nobody's talking about it because he plays for the Kansas City Royals. He has been in the home run derby, and everyone, including me, was like, why is he in the home run derby? But now I'm realizing there was a reason for that, because he's raking among belief. And I think that if Ohtani and Vladdy weren't such big names as what they are, he would be the best player to win MVP this year. So that's especially in the American League.
I'm going to have to agree with that. I don't know how not to agree with that. So there you go. I agree. Snoop agrees, so you're good. One other piece of MLB news here.
We got some more MLB a little bit. Next year, for 2023, my bad, there will be a new home to the All-Star Game for the first time since 2001. They're going back to Seattle for the Mariners to host. It's quite a pitcher's ballpark there in Seattle, so the home run derby should be interesting. But good for Seattle fans, and good for Mariners fans who, if you're mad that your team hasn't been in the playoffs in a long time, you have an All-Star Game coming to you. So you have fucking something to be happy about for the meantime.
And they're getting better. They are getting better.
And they are getting better. They're having a great year this year.
Exactly.
What up?
Dylan reminded me about and I feel like we should touch on the fact that he kind of has like hold on, I have to remember which arm he pitched with. He has a right arm issue that like could end up sidelining him as a pitcher for the rest of the season.
He was scratched at his next start. His next start that he was scratched, and then they said he probably wasn't going to pitch his next start. So it is a little worrisome, but it is a lot more likely for him to return than it would be, say, like DeGrom.
Right.
So I think that it is more likely that you will see him pitch. But based off of the Angels or their record and how they're playing right now, he definitely won't be rushed back. And they're just going to let him go at his own pace. And if he does come back, he comes back. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Because I don't think they're going to make a big postseason push where they're, oh, we need Ohtani. So they'd rather just keep him healthy for next year.
Okay. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
There's no pushing a guy like him back when you're not even playoff.
Right.
Exactly.
And one more random fact, because when does Jesse ever have baseball?
I don't know. I'm confused right now.
Have you seen Bryce Harper's batting average since All-Star?
Bryce Harper is number 2 in National League MVP voting right now.
Because he's batting 439, 429?
Yeah.
18 homers? Man's going crazy.
He's in a salary spot. If Tatis wasn't as big of a name as he was, Bryce Harper would be getting NL MVP. But the problem is he's actually not hitting as well as Bryce Harper, especially the second half of the year. Tatis has not been doing that well. But it's literally just the big name caliber on top of the voting that you have to do with it. But what makes me what's crazy to me is Bryce Harper not a big name? Like Bryce Harper has won MVP before. Like the man is also a name that if you see him in the top couple voting, you would be like, oh, I could put him at number 1 over Tatis. So that's what's crazy to me, to be honest. And I think that if they keep hitting the way they are right now, the rest of the year, that Bryce Harper should win National League MVP.
He's got 0.1 above him, a whole 0.1.
Right.
With 7 more homers.
Right. He's probably got more RBIs too.
Yeah. He's beating him in every category right now after All-Star.
Yeah. And yet somehow he's second, not first.
That's wild. They can't be doing him like that.
Yeah,
before we get into some NFL football here, I want to talk a little bit, touch base on the Detroit Red Wings in the Traverse City Prospect Tournament, which has been taking place over the last week or so. And I want to talk about a couple people here. This first guy I want to talk about, Kirill Tutayev. All right, he's from the same part of Russia as Pavel Datsyuk. Okay, so I trust the Iser plan very much when I hear that.
Yes, sir.
This man had 2 goals in the fucking prospect game against Dallas, and I'm pretty sure that they were saying that he's going to end up on Grand Rapids this year. He's 21 years old. He's 5'8", 148 pounds.
What?
He's small.
I didn't know he was
5'8", 140.
That's tiny, bro.
And he scored 2 goals in the prospect game.
Okay, hold on.
He's cut.
He's a skill guy.
He's cut.
He's a huge skill guy.
2 inches taller than me and 50 pounds less. That man's zooming.
He made it to the show, my guy. And he's from Russia.
Zooming.
He's from Pavel Datsyuk's Russia.
God.
And then another player I want to talk about is a player that I actually have a clip of his goal. So let's run that real quick.
Yes, sir.
Moving in, Berggren with a feed across, and Lucas Raymond scores.
Is that what? Is that not what I said? I was looking for it and I found it. Lucas Raymond with a goal. You love to see it. To start off the second period in his first game in red and white.
Well, look at the setup, though. We're going to get a chance to watch this again, and we see it right here. But look at the setup right here by Berggren. Bang, across, left circle, one-time shot. Goes down on one knee, Raymond to fire it home, 3-0 Detroit.
You talk about.
You got Lucas Raymond in his first game with the Red Wings, scoring his first goal in the prospect tournament. So you love to see the young guys perform because both of these guys are supposed to be going to Grand Rapids to start next season. And I love what I'm seeing from the Iser plan. And the Red Wings won this game 5-4.
I don't know about anyone else, but that video killed me. It froze me.
No,
it killed you?
I didn't see it. Everyone was froze, including me, until just a couple seconds ago.
I'm sorry you didn't get to see it. Maybe you can run it again. Maybe you'll get to see it this time. Try it one more time.
Moving in, Berggren with a feed across, and Lucas Raymond scores.
Is that not what I said? I was looking for it and I found it. Lucas Raymond with a goal. You love to see it. To start off the second period in his first game in red and white.
Well, look at the setup, though. We're going to get a chance to watch this again, and we see it right here. But look at the setup right here by Berggren. Bang, across, left circle, one-time shot. Goes down on one knee, Raymond to fire it home, 3-0 Detroit.
You talk about.
Ah,
There you go. Did you see it that time?
I was able to see it this time.
There you go. But Lucas Raymond gets his first goal. Like I said, Wings did take that dub. But you like what you see out of the young guys that Yzerman's drafting, especially with everyone trusting in the Yzer plan.
Yeah.
Right.
Got to trust in the Yzer plan.
Exactly. But let's talk about this game for a little bit.
Talk about football now.
What a game!
What a game!
Let me start this.
Who? Okay, all right, go ahead.
Let me start this first. All right, guys. For all of you who don't know, Jesse Carter had Graham Gano on his fantasy team prior to this game. He dropped him to do some waiver work. As we all know,
He
they
fucked up.
9 points because he had a 55-yarder, 55-yarder, 40-yarder, 30-yarder to go along with their 2 touchdowns. That's about 22 in the dumpster. I'm hurting, but we will get through this. Let's talk about the game. Got some personal points. I mean, that Washington defense that's been renowned to be good has not shown up good in these first 2 games, if I'm being honest. And they luckily came out with a win this game because Slayton dropped a wide open touchdown that would have changed the whole structure of the game score, would have changed the outcome. And
all they had to do was stay on sides and they won.
Exactly. That's all it needed.
Forget that drop touchdown pass. All the defender had to do was not jump early, and they won the game because
he missed the kick. That was a crazy game.
I'm hearing Daniel Jones getting blamed. I'm hearing other people getting blamed. Like, no. If the defender does not jump early, they win that game. That is no one else's fault. They had a situation and they fucked it up.
I see where they say like it's other.
I do, but it's like at the same time, you're in a situation that's a pass. Here's the thing.
Here's the way I see it. When you go and all of what happened up until the point of the kick where he missed it and the guy went off sides, everything that happened before that had already happened. It was set in stone. You can't change it, right?
You can't. Yes.
So at this point in the game, there's 1 play left. There's 1 play left. All you have to do is not go off sides and get a flag, because if they miss the kick, you win, right? He misses the kick, but he went off sides. At that point in the game, that was the most important play of the game, and he messed it up. Therefore, it's his fault, because everything that happened before that, you can't change it. It already happened, and you're still winning the game, regardless of whether you're up by 1 point or you're up by 8 points.
Bro, he was in the middle too, so it was like he wasn't even going to be one of the guys to potentially block it either. So why was he jumping?
Nose guard at that point. Like, I mean, why?
Yeah, you're in the middle, dude. What are you doing?
Like I said,
the ball's right there.
I jumped off sides before at nose guard, but that happened once. I promise you, any nose guard that plays is going to tell you how bad they will get fucked if they are to go offside on any play. You watch the ball. The ball is in front of you. You know when it moves before anyone on your right or left knows it moves. Hypothetically speaking, you should. So there's no reason.
Yeah.
Guys, there's no reason. On the last play, that is a kick. You can't blame Slayton. You can't blame the guy holding on Daniel Jones. You can only blame guard for that play.
I agree with you 100%.
Dylan, what do you think?
Oh, I didn't know if I was still muted. I think that Daniel Jones balled out. I think he's getting a lot of hate that he doesn't fucking deserve. I think that he had a great game. He threw over 300 yards. He had a rushing touchdown to start the game. Slayton, yes, he dropped that pass in the touchdown that would have won the game, but we're not going to talk about that. He had a great game. He had some great catches. Still very underrated. No one's really talking about him. And then one more thing I want to point out is Kenny Galladay, who I believe had maybe 3 or 4 receptions, 30, 40 yards. Nothing really impressive, nothing really to talk about. Was shown on the sidelines verbally very upset and yelling at the Giants coach, who I'm assuming has something to do with him not getting enough targets, not getting enough receptions, something along those lines. But how do you guys feel about that? Because Kenny's pissed. He's not wide receiver number 1 like he is in Detroit no more.
He's not supposed to be. He was targeted at least 7 times and dropped, half of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't catch the ball.
They were hitting, or he was.
That was the first time I've watched a Detroit player go to a different team, watch them play, and been like, thank you for not staying here. Because that is the kind of shit that he would do on Detroit. He'd have the big plays, because he will have some big plays, but he drops a lot of passes. He really does drop a lot of passes.
But also, it's very common for our stars in Detroit, no matter what sport it is, to go to a different team and shine.
Which is why it actually felt good for once to see a player that we got rid of because we didn't think he was cut enough, not be cut enough. It was nice.
It was beautiful.
It was nice.
He went somewhere and he's not the number 1 guy. He is not the number 1 receiver.
No.
Daniel Jones trusts Slade more. He trusts Shepard more.
He even trusts Ingram more.
He trusts Saquon more.
Right.
Like
Heineke might be my new quarterback.
Honestly,
he might be number 1. You see what Mr. Gunslinger was doing?
He was doing his thing.
I mean, maybe it's just because I have the Terry combination, but
listen,
that's his favorite target. So would it be dumb for me to pick him up, or would it be genius?
I would season check. I would see every team they play, and then go. But that got to 83.
Terry had a night.
Terry did have.
But so did Daniel Jones. Even though they did lose that game, Daniel Jones played a hell of a football.
He almost went for like a 60-yard run TD if there wasn't that hold.
And he didn't fall.
He didn't fall.
Yeah. Bro, he was making sure too. There's a couple plays when he ran it. He made sure to take extra care of that ball on the way down.
Oh yeah.
Protect it. You could.
He was like, "There is no way I'm doing that again."
Bro, I didn't know. I'm gonna be honest. I knew Daniel Jones had movement to him, but he was showing out last night.
Yeah, he was going a lot faster than I thought he could go. Even though I do think he still runs kind of gumpy.
One last point I want to bring up before we move on is Saquon. What game do you guys think, or what week, if so, will we finally see him, get all these touches and get all these yards? Because they're playing him very safe right now.
No, they are, and it didn't help that this was the Thursday night game, like right after they played Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, they had 3 days.
So it was gonna be, they were gonna add on each week, but like with this, you really couldn't. So he's gonna get more next week, and by a couple, I think like week 4, maybe 4 or 5, he should be at his normal touches.
That's what I'm
if
thinking.
Things go well.
4 or 5.
I need next week. I need him to do it next week, but realistically, probably 4 or 5, week 4 or 5.
Right.
If he was a Monday night game, maybe, but no.
Well, with the Thursday night game in the books, a lot of Sunday night games, and a very, very interesting Monday night game definitely to be had by the Packers and Lions in Green Bay. Let's get into our week 2 predictions. So I'll just start it off here. We did not do good week 1 as a group. We did not.
We got to bounce back.
We do. We do have to bounce back.
So
let's talk first game. I'll just go through the spreads, the over-unders. Let's hit it all. So week 2 predictions. First game, we got Las Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Raiders are without their number 1 running back. Pittsburgh Steelers minus 6.5. Over under 46.5. 6.5 point spread.
Personally, by the way, these whole predictions, I'm going straight with the heart. and then back in facts, but that's it. Logic out the window.
Do it.
Vegas, I think Kenyon Drake, as their backup, come in. He doesn't have the strong body style that Josh Jacobs got, but like we saw what he did last year with Arizona, like making plays. He had a good season. And I don't think they're gonna miss too much as those close plays, which they were taking Jacobs out for anyways near the end of Baltimore. And Derek Carr, he doesn't expect as a quarterback, I feel like. And I think
he's the new Stafford now.
I would take a +6.5 for this game. Seeing how the Bills Pittsburgh game, like Vegas do have that sneaky firepower that sometimes comes out of nowhere. And I think they'll make it a 3-game, lose or win.
That's the one thing we got to go, Luke. My bad.
Okay. I was just going to say, I think this is the week Najee Harris breaks out, and I think Pittsburgh takes the dub and hitting the spread.
I'm also on Pittsburgh and the spread. I think Pittsburgh does have statements they still need to make because they have a lot to prove about what happened last year.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot of high expectations, and I mean they're still a solid football team. I think they beat the Raiders, and I think they beat them by at least 10 points.
I think this is going to be a game where the Vegas comes out hot. Maybe they're up 7-10 at halftime type shit. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game for the reason of I think that Pittsburgh's defense second half is going to go nutty. I don't know what it is, but we know their defense is really, really, really solid. Like one of the best in the league, obviously. And I think for some reason that for second half, they're just going to have a half where they just clamp up and can't get nothing going for Derek Carr to where he has to go into his fourth quarter bag of tricks and try to pull something out last minute like he does really well.
Potentially. But the Raiders do have a rookie on the O-line who will be going up against Watt.
Well, Penei Sewell, I mean, he did good against Bosa, so maybe this rookie can
Not all rookies are built the same.
I'm trying to help this dude.
Not all defensive guys are built the same. You're giving two different comparisons here. This is Nick Bosa and our guy versus Watt and their guy. Like it's two totally different scenarios here. Our O-line is also pretty decent.
What position is he? Which guy? Do we know?
Which guy? I'm pretty sure he's a guard.
Oh, I was gonna say if he's a tackle.
They were talking about him. I didn't pick up on his position, but they asked Najee Harris because he used to be teammates with him because he was an Alabama O lineman. He said, "Do you have any words of advice for your former teammate going up against Watt or whatever?" And he was like, "Good luck, I guess."
Good luck. I mean, yeah.
Or no, I think it was the other way around.
What?
I think, from my memory, I think he was asked about. I think he was told Watt good luck at getting past the guy that blocked for him for 4 years at Alabama.
That would make more sense.
I think that's what he said.
That makes more sense.
I still don't think. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why they'd ask him that question because he's on Pittsburgh, but he's playing his former college teammate. So I don't know why they'd make him say something about it. But regardless, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers cover the spread, and I think that it's going to be a good game. But I think that Pittsburgh wins by more than a touchdown. Moving on to game 2 here, Cincinnati at Chicago. Chicago Bears are given -2.5 here, over under 45.5 points.
If Fields doesn't game, they're losing.
I want to watch this game strictly to see how the fans handle Fields not being on the field versus when he is on the field. I feel like, when they take him off the field, later in the game or whatever, is it gonna have everybody's booing, or
Yeah, they're
like
gonna boo when
you know,
Dalton's
like
in,
our
and cheer when Fields is in. Just like preseason.
yeah. I feel like that's exactly what we're gonna see. And then, but does that influence the decision by the coach at all, or
No, he doesn't care.
or is he just because I mean, honestly, everybody wants Andy Dalton out of there. I'm not even a Bears fan, and I just want to see Justin Fields because I want to
The
see
only people that don't want Andy Dalton out of Chicago are the head coach and Andy Dalton. They're the only people.
That sounds pretty accurate to me.
I wouldn't want to.
When it comes to this game, though, I'm going Cincinnati plus 2.5.
Yep.
I liked what I saw out of Cincinnati week 1.
Me too.
And I didn't like what I saw out of Chicago. So
honestly, I'm going Cincinnati alternate spread minus 3.5.
okay. Heard that.
I think the Vikings are a better team than the Bears. And they beat the Vikings. So I think they can carry that and pull out a dub against who have a weaker second.
Yeah.
Vikings.
No, definitely.
O-line
I thought it
from
was
Cincinnati to hold up.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to take a little bit longer for Cincinnati's offense to get clicking. And it
Me
is
too.
not.
But Jamar Chase, I mean,
They
week one, we already talked about it Monday, but I mean, Jamar Chase, 100 yards, a touchdown, and he was balling. We were not ready for that.
Oh, yeah. Over under in this game, 45.5 points. How we feeling? I am feeling under.
Yeah, I'll take the under in that one.
Definitely an under. Unless, which he won't. I don't see it.
Yeah.
But if he was, I can see him putting up as soon as he's in.
For sure. Game number 3 here. Houston Texans traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns are favored by 13.5 points. Over under is 47.5.
This is actually a game that last week, if you told me, hey, week 2 this is happening, I would have told you, don't care, Cleveland's going to murk them. Now, after what I've seen week 1, I am interested in this game because of what I saw from Tyrod Taylor and what I saw from the Houston Texans on offense. Now, this is not me coming in saying that the Texans are going to have an amazing year. They're not. The writing is already written on the wall pretty much for Houston. But what I am
But can they cover a 13.5 point spread?
I think they can. And I think that Houston can make this game close for as long as they can. And what I mean by that is they're playing Cleveland. They're playing Cleveland. And I think that the first half, for sure, they can especially hang with them. And I think it won't be like too big of a blowout. But once you go into the second half and you realize how much better Cleveland is on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball, there's going to be nothing that Houston's going to be able to do coming second half.
Okay, so so you got Houston covering the spread then. End of the day.
I do.
Because that's really the only information we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Heard. So like at the end of your whole statement, I still didn't really have a for sure decision on what your pick was. You told me how the game's gonna go, but you didn't really say
I said
Houston plus
Cleveland
13.5, Cleveland minus 13.5. You gotta give me a bet.
you know, I'm thinking Houston. They did have a good week 1, but it might have been a little bit above their heads. So I think you see the real team of Houston week 2. And Cleveland's about to take them out.
Okay, so you got Cleveland covering or you got Houston?
I got Cleveland covering.
Jesse, how we feeling over there, huh? Cleveland or Houston? 13.5 points.
Cleveland minus 13.5. Simple fact that Houston they beat Trevor Lawrence. I'm gonna be honest.
They beat the Jags.
They had 3 interceptions, but Baker doesn't throw like Trevor was throwing.
Hunt, it looks like Washington is doing the same thing with Gibson and
McKissick.
JD McKissick.
Well, I think every team would love to have that. So I don't think Washington's doing it nearly as well.
No, I'm not saying it's nearly as well. I'm just saying
they have a wide receiver turned running back. They don't have two big running backs. They have a wide receiver they turned into a running back, which is Gibson.
I want to ask for Jesse and Luke only because I already know me and Ty talked about it Monday when we were recapping the game. But do you think Tyrod Taylor is going to be a mediocre quarterback or an above average quarterback? Because after week 1, I was surprised. Do you think he's just gonna have a couple lucky games, or do you think he could have like a Teddy Bridgewater above average season like last year that no one's ready for?
I think Tyrod with himself has a lot to like. He knows who he is. He knows how he can ball, and he got screwed. And now that he is getting this starting opportunity, I think he's going to take advantage. And I think he is going to might not get wins on the stat sheet, but I think he personally ball.
I can agree with that.
Perfect.
Like, did you guys even know that the reason he didn't play last year was the doctor punctured his lung?
Yes.
Yeah, that shit was
It was
so
a big
messed
story.
up. Shit was so messed up. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next game. The Los Angeles Rams are heading to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Rams are favored by 3.5 points. I'm taking that all day and night. Over 48.5 points. Give me the over. Give me Matt Stafford for 250 plus yards. Give me the Rams minus 3.5.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree with me?
Move on.
We're moving on to the next game. Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. Now, this one should be a good matchup. Miami's defense has been very good. Buffalo's offense, very good last year. Not so much a hot start last week against Pittsburgh. What do we think happens in this game?
I think
my
they
quarterback
wake.
against my defense. Fuck me.
I think Buffalo's offense wakes the fuck up and plays to their potential.
Yeah, but that's a great Miami defense you got to go up against, bro.
Yeah,
You
it
go against
doesn't
Pittsburgh
matter.
and
They
Miami's
gotta
defense.
respond. They got to respond for that shit show last week.
Oh yeah, they do.
I think
You're right.
you can count Stephon Diggs for 2 touchdowns.
Thank God. I would love that. But here's the thing.
I'm sure you can.
Josh Allen.
The
I'm telling you
Beazles
right
might
now,
take a touchdown too.
He
to
might
be
have
honest.
He might have 2 picks, but I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot more deep. He's going to be slinging a lot more plays. And I think there's going to be a really, really short amount of run game over by Buffalo.
I don't think he's going to have 2 picks.
At all.
I don't.
We got to take a second. Did you say Cole Beasley?
I said the Beazles.
Yeah, okay. That reminded me of something that I heard about yesterday. Okay. Cole Beasley of the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if anyone of you guys have heard about this. He is anti-vax. Okay, he's against the vaccination. He's against being vaccinated. He supports anybody that isn't vaccinated, right? He says, and he has been, buying tickets for Bills fans to go to away games if they are unvaccinated.
Oh?
So he says, if you're unvaccinated and you prove it to me and send me a message, I will fucking buy you tickets to the Bills game at an away game, and you can come cheer for us at wherever you live because you're not vaccinated. That is wild.
That's wild.
Thoughts. Give me your thoughts.
It's a bit over the top, in my opinion. Yeah, people can make their own choices, but I mean, Jesus Christ, you're trying to bribe people with that. It's not really letting people make their own choices, eh?
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's probably someone there who loves Cole Beasley so much. He said that, and they were like, "Mom, cancel my vaccination.
Yeah,
we're going to a Bills game.
Right.
I'll get it after."
It's like, just let people make their own choices. Stop trying to
No, but at the same time,
Bills Mafia's
if you did make your own choice and you decided not to get vaccinated,
yes, that's a different.
Free Bills tickets.
Yes.
Hey.
And you
I might get some free Bills tickets.
And you're not gonna go all the way to Buffalo because you get an away game.
Luke, are you vaccinated?
I'm not.
Dylan, are you vaccinated?
I'm not.
Jesse, are you vaccinated?
You know the answer to that.
Tyler, are you vaccinated? No. Oh, you guys want to go to a Bills game?
Cole.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
That's great.
But yeah, you mentioned his name, and I was like, wait, I forgot he was doing that. I should probably tell them because I meant to tell you yesterday. But I totally forgot.
Improve that vaccine a little bit, then I'll put it in my body.
But moving on to the next game here, we have the New England Patriots taking on the New York Jets. Mac Jones versus none other than the quarterback that I never remember the name of, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. I'm going to start it off by saying that New England should come out here, and it should be I think it's going to be a boring game. I'll be honest. I think it's going to be a very slow, very lot of field goals, not a whole lot of action. But I would take, what's the spread, Ty?
The Patriots are favored by 6 points.
I would take New England by 6 points. I would take that exactly, and I think that they'll win, and I think it would also be under if I was taking the spread.
Okay. I'll go next here. I think the Jets cover 6 points.
Oh, wow.
Like you said, I think there's going to be a lot of field goals, not a lot of touchdowns, not a lot of points.
Right.
And with that being said, I think that the Jets have a good opportunity to make this game really close. And I think this game might end on a field goal. And if that does happen, then I think the Jets cover 6 points.
I'm going to call it right now. I think New England's defense is going to get a touchdown.
They could.
That's not a very.
They always could.
Yeah, that's so true.
I need it.
Josh Jackson, baby. You might get that pick six. Jesse, how you feeling about this game?
This is honestly hard for me because the sucky thing is that like I'll be working Sunday, so I don't like get as much highlight film. Like I don't get to watch a lot of plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, help me out here. Did Mac Jones really like solid?
Mac Jones had plenty of opportunities to win his first game, and he did not win.
Correct.
That's all I have to say. I watched the ending of that game. In the fourth quarter, he had 2 different drives where he could have taken the lead down by 1 point, and he couldn't even get into field goal range. So,
hey, he played like 2 a year one. He had moments where you're like, hey, he could be QB1, but then he also had moments where you're like, I'd bench his ass.
Damn, he's a rookie quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then you're back in reality.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Next game we have up here, the San Francisco 49ers heading into Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The San Francisco 49ers are a 3-point favorite. The over-under is set at 49.5.
I think the 49ers set the Eagles straight and correct them from last week's showing.
I think this game is the toss-up of the week for me.
I'm sitting here like, Jalen Hurts looked.
He did.
And we saw what Jared Goff and the Lions could do against that defense. Like, it's hard not to, like, hammer San Francisco.
I'm not going to lie. I got Philly taking the win with it. I would bet them for money line, or I'd give them an alternate spread of -3.
Sign my name.
Money line is plus 146.
Right that, for opinion wise, I agree. Right underneath Jesse.
Heard that.
Well,
I'm with Luke though. I'm going 49ers. I'll take 49ers minus 6.5.
Yep. On that.
I just like what I see from San Francisco. Even I love what I saw from the backup running back, even though it was against Detroit. You know, like I appreciate good football, and that guy was running the ball. I think San Francisco, as long as they don't lose another player, they definitely win this game in my opinion. And I like I said, I would take them by 6.5, even alternate spread.
Right. I'm taking Philly. The way I'm taking them is simply to do with, like, I feel like their O-line, they had so many different rotations last year and everyone's back. So stability has gotten a lot better, along with them adding like Devontae Smith, along with Miles.
A running quarterback.
Miles being healthy, a running quarterback.
Yeah.
They have the pieces. Those defense squashed last week against the Lions. If we're being, there's no reason that you had a 74-point game with the Lions.
There's really no reason that should have happened.
So, Like, I feel like the Eagles, we are sleeping on the Eagles in their head are like gassing themselves up so much that they're going to come out and perform with their head of steam.
Very possible. I just see it the opposite because I see San Francisco's coach saying, you guys see what happened last week against the Lions? We get up, we stay up. Are you kidding me? So I think that if they get up, they're going to shut the Eagles' offense down because they didn't do it against Detroit. And I'm feeling like it was a focus of emphasis this week that if they take a lead, that they're going to build that lead, and they're not going to stop building that lead because they saw just how quickly that lead can fade, even against a team like Detroit. But we're going to move on to the next game. The room is split on the San Francisco and Eagles game. So bet who you want. We're divided. But next game we have here, the New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. We are going to go to Jesse first, only because Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara are both in this game, and I know he thinks highly of both of them.
Ooh, I do. I have very high both of these dog-ass athletes. They're not your Derrick Henry. They're not your Dalvin Cook. They're their own catch, run. They're the
elusive backs.
The elusive backs.
Yeah.
And they're going to be the stars of this game, whether Jason and Sam Darnold like it. Even if they don't put up the numbers, watch the game. I know they're going to put up the numbers. If I'm personally being honest, this is no bias. It's just facts. Jameis Winston he played some good ball. He played some good ball against Green Bay. Even though Green Bay has especially with last season, their playoff game and notorious at the moment, I do still believe the Saints will come out with a win. Just because that's just how I feel. I'm going to be honest. I don't have any truth. Besides, I'm doing in my head. I have DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey against James Winston, Alvin Kamara, Callaway, who actually looks like a really solid receiver. But something about how the Saints demolish the Packers, I feel like they will walk through, and they're plus.
The Saints are minus 3.5. Carolina plus 3.5.
I would take mine RB.
For sure. I'm also on minus 3.5 for the Saints here. I like what I saw from the Saints week 1, of course, but they were playing a really out of whack Green Bay team. It'll be interesting to see what we see from Green Bay on Monday night. But in regards to this New Orleans Saints team, I like what they have on offense. I like that they have kind of the same receiver situation-ish as Detroit, where, their number one guy's out. So technically the rest of their guys are just fill-in guys, really, because they don't have a lot of number one wide receivers other than Michael Thomas. But I was talking to Luke about this also. But one of their tight ends, Juwan Johnson, who had 2 touchdown catches, that was his first touchdown and second touchdown in the NFL after being on the Saints for 2 years now. I've been following him on Instagram. I don't know why I am, but I have been. And all of a sudden, he had a breakout game, and I think that he might be establishing himself as a solid pass-catching tight end in the NFL. That's kind of what makes me lean towards Saints minus 3.5 because he is becoming a big red zone threat. In my world, granted, we only saw him for 1 week, but I think the Saints passing game is going to do really well against this team. I think they'll throw a good amount of screens to Kamara. I think Kamara's going to tear him up. And I think the Saints defense can handle whatever Carolina throws at.
One thing I do have to point out too, Winston, even though it was against a very obscure Green Bay team because they had a type of week last week that was just not good.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked accurate. Not like his self in Tampa Bay where he's just throwing wild throws and just praying his
one eye Winston.
And then there was like a pick or two a game. He was averaging a pick or two a game damn near. But he looked accurate in that game to the point where he might have fixed his issues with his interceptions.
Had Drew Brees holding him on his side. Hey, I know you got here. I know I'm leaving. But we still gonna text. We're gonna do some drills together. They work out together. He got her in West New Orleans. But then don't forget, they had to blow the dust off of the back of the playbook to get them long throw plays.
Just an early prediction, but that could be
all right.
career decision.
We need to talk about this, okay? Because you brought it up. Jameis Winston, okay, in that game, all right, had a great game. But he only threw for 148 yards while throwing 5 touchdowns. They did not have to go down the field at all.
And then
he didn't even throw for 150 yards, even though he had 5 touchdowns. He didn't have to throw it very far.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, the Green Bay defense in that game was so horrible, and the offense was so horrible that it almost, in my opinion, isn't a great, like...
It's not a great...
It's not a good... what is it? It's like when you get a new college football team, right? Say Michigan State, like all their new guys, right? This is actually a great example. Beginning of the year, who do they play? Some no-name college. So even if they blow them out of the water, you can't be like, oh my God, we're gonna be the best ever. Like, no, we just played a bunch of like guys that barely made it to college football, like D1.
Then you got to take what it's worth, which
it wasn't a good starter test.
And with his
it wasn't a good test.
Being accurate, that might give him more confidence for his longer game and just keep building potentially.
They gave him a test for his first week. Jameis got excited, saw that the test was only 1 question, and went, oh shit, we're good. But he doesn't realize that next week it goes back to the regular 10 questions. That's what happened.
But Carolina.
Huh?
What about what?
Carolina? It's not like Carolina. It's like Tampa, LA, high rank. They're like average, below average. So it's like slowly they're getting better competition.
Right. Yeah. Because Carolina, I would say, is a little below average.
Moving on to the next game here, we got the Denver Broncos traveling to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna watch this one.
Denver is favored by 6 points, as you probably could have assumed.
That's what I'd go with.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly. I hope Trevor Lawrence has a better game than he did last week. He didn't have a bad game. He did throw 300 yards. He did have 3 interceptions. He did have a couple touchdowns. But I think that, I don't know. I kind of just want to see, selfishly for me, I want to see Trevor Lawrence ball out.
I want to see him.
Okay.
I hate
me too.
Terrible. Those are never pretty. You go first overall and poop the bed? Can't have that.
You're right. It's his first career loss ever. Ever.
Yeah.
And ever.
Yeah. He deserved that. He needed that. He needed a reality check.
Damn right.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem with never losing. You don't get that reality check you need to fix the things that you actually need to.
Yeah.
Because you just think your game's just glorified because unbeaten.
Right.
They do. They do have some coaching problems. I ain't gonna lie.
They already said that. What's his name? What's his name, guys?
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. They're already talking about he's creating drama in the locker room because he's treating it like college football.
Of course he is. That's all he knows. By the way, Urban Meyer, the job at USC opened up.
Oh yeah,
he already said
no.
Yeah, he already said he wouldn't take it. He's committed to
his
organization, bro.
They paid him to say that.
He's pulling a reverse segment.
You know that the USC job opened, and the fucking guy that just hired him as the Jacksonville head coach walked into his fucking office and said, "Listen to me. If you think you're gonna go back and coach college football, you got another thing coming. So you better not say a damn word about being interested in wanting to go coach college football at USC, or we will split you."
I forgot to click on the article and read more up on it, but I saw another coach. It was either from the 49ers or the Chiefs. They responded to the open spot at that college, but I forgot to click on the article and see what they said.
Damn it, Luke.
Then shut your mouth.
Then shut up. Shut up. The next game we got on the slate here, Minnesota Vikings going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 3.5 points.
As they should be.
Over under is 50.5.
After week 1, I would have to take Arizona. I'd have to take their spread. And I'd honestly have to take this being not as close of a game as most people might think, in my opinion. I think Dalvin Cook might go crazy, but I don't think Kirk Cousins has a very good game.
Arizona
I can agree with that.
To blow these boys out the water.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
That defense looked phenomenal. Even though
It did look really good.
But this was against Tennessee. Like, we have to remember this.
Yeah, they have a Derrick Henry. They have a Dalvin Cook type back, and they stopped them all game.
And they have equal, if not better, receivers. My head broke for a second. AJ Brown, Julio Jones. Let's start there. Let's just start there. And then on the other side, you got D-Hop, Kirk, AJ Green.
Not to mention, let's talk about the real game changer here, Chandler motherfucking Jones, who had 5 sacks week 1 against Taylor Lewan, who's been to how many Pro Bowls? Come on now. And now you gotta have him going up against this Minnesota O-line. If I'm Kirk Cousins, after watching what happened to Ryan Tannehill, I'm scared shitless. I'm
on the treadmill all week. That's what I'm doing.
4 times by Chandler Jones, and the 1 or 2 times that I don't have to look for him, I got fucking J.J. Watt, and I got all these other dudes on defense that I'm terrified of. It doesn't look good in any situation going against this Arizona Cardinals defense for any team in the league, from what I'm seeing.
And Buda Baker in that backfield is going to make whoever's on his side disappear as soon as he's there in his area. That team, I didn't get to see enough, so I don't want to say this and be wrong, but like, I don't know if they've gotten Isaiah Simmons into the defense as much as they would like to, because he's a safety and he plays behind Buda, but he's a 6'4" guy who, if you don't know, has like a 4. I believe he was like lower than a 4. I know he was lower than a 4.75, but I don't remember where it was. But like, this guy's juiced.
Yeah.
They start working him into the defense with like Buda Baker staying high, him being that Jalen Ramsey style guy, like dropping down, doing different formations, and they already looking like this, bro. It's bad. I'd alternate 96.
All right, next game we got going up here is the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This could be quick.
The Buccaneers are 12.5-point favorites. The over-under is 52.5.
Yeah, I'll take Buccaneers. I'll take the over. Because Atlanta will probably put up some points because they got shot out.
I'm on Bucks on the over.
Yeah. Bucks on the over, everybody?
Bucks over, and that's only because the Bucks are 35, 40 points.
Tyler, Bucks over?
It's probably going to be throwing.
Yeah. But Atlanta, they put up enough points. What's the over again?
52.5.
I don't think Atlanta puts up 21, though.
I think they do.
I think.
I like the Bucks, but I like the under.
You think Atlanta's not going to put up a bunch of points after getting shut out week 1 against Philly? Well, they had, 6 points?
No, because they're not good.
No, they're not.
That's why they didn't get points. It's not because they didn't do this and this. It's because they're not good. So I think they're going to continue to not be good against the defending Super Bowl champions defense.
I'm with you, Dylan.
Thank you, Luke.
Bucks and over.
Bucks over.
I can't bet over anymore.
I'm going to take
Atlanta's going to put up points on the board, but it's not going to be enough to win.
I thought it was
next game we got here. Again, the room is divided. Only this time it's up and down. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the LA Chargers. Now,
shootout.
This one looks like a quarterback battle to me. The over-under in this game, 54.5.
Damn, they want you to take that over too. That's crazy.
Yeah,
over.
they do.
Fuck, I would take it. I'm not gonna lie.
Cowboys over, baby.
Yeah, Cowboys over. I'm not.
This is the Cowboys' first win of the season.
I think the Cowboys take it for sure.
Will CD?
But I'll go Cowboys +3 because the Cowboys are +3 in this game.
Oh, I take that.
I think that even though Michael Gallup is out, it isn't going to determine anything big because they still have CD Lamb, and we saw what Amari Cooper did last week.
And we didn't see a lot from Zeke.
No, that
Right.
They can use him. They didn't really use him week 1.
But
So,
I'm worried about
he's still a threat. Next game we got up here, Tennessee Titans at Seattle Seahawks.
God, is this a big game for me? Jesus Christ.
This is quite a
That's tough cookies. Yeah. Tennessee, a very good football team, is heading to Seattle, also a very good football team, with some of the best fans in football. The over-under is set at 54.5 points. Seattle is favored by 6.5. I might be taking a Tennessee Titans +6.5, maybe, but I don't like what I see from Tennessee's secondary and their defense, and I really like Seattle's wide receivers.
Russell takes
And their quarterback.
Bad safeties.
Russ, Daddy, Metcalf, and Lockett against people that can't really cover that well.
Russ Daddy's
But Derrick Henry eats against Seattle.
He's pissed.
He eats against Seattle. I know he's going to. He's gonna fucking.
But
I'm not
Russ
betting on this
Daddy-
game.
Russ Daddy is about to eat.
I will
more.
not bet on this game.
Tennessee can be so pissed off from last week that they are beating Seattle.
I will bet on this game, and you know what I'm gonna take?
I'm going to take Russ Daddy. I'm going to take the Seahawks over. Let's hear it. Come on.
No,
now,
I was
we
just
know.
gonna take the over
Really?
because it's
So
not a
ready for
betting
it?
game.
Over 54.
So calm your ass
If
down.
I have to
there,
make a
bud.
decision,
So you
I'm
love
money
Russ
line for
Daddy,
the
bro.
Titans.
You love betting on Russ Daddy. That's
True.
why I had to say that.
And that might have been my fault
Well,
if you know the whole story, Dylan.
All right.
You know why he
over.
loves betting on Russ Daddy?
I know why I was alive yet last year. But
Okay.
I'll take Titans.
Russ
That
Daddy.
comeback.
I'll take Derrick Henry over 100 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and then give me a Julio Jones touchdown as well.
No.
Last week was a fluke, and it never
Come on,
happened.
Defensive touchdown.
You're
We are
actually
0-0.
drunk.
Shut up, Dylan.
You're
The
actually
Kansas City Chiefs are taking on the Baltimore Ravens in the Sunday Night Football Showdown.
Gonna be game of the week.
The Chiefs are favored by 3.5 points. The over-under is 54.5.
Now listen, that pass that gave to Marquise, the throws he was throwing, he's looking. After one game, a better thrower, but that is one game. I do think Kansas City will win,
Correct.
but dare I say, I think 3.
Careful,
That's
Jesse.
a good spread. I think that's a good spread game. No, I got Chiefs like by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm on Chiefs. I'm on Chiefs minus 3.5.
I agree.
You don't go anywhere near Ravens bets.
They're scary. They're
Unless-
too scary. There's a Harbaugh coaching there. Okay, there's a Harbaugh running
Hardballs
the
are
operation.
Yeah,
It's
real.
sketchy.
Way too sketched.
And finally, the Monday Night Football game. The Detroit Lions are going into Green Bay. It's a 12.5 point spread. I want all 12.5 of those points for the Lions. I am betting the Lions plus 12.5. That's all I got. I mean,
I'm sorry.
will we look like
I
shit half the
can't.
game? Probably. But will
I
we cover
can't.
12.5 points? Probably. Because if we lose, and honestly, the Lions, 9 times out of 10, have a 3 to 7, maybe 8 point game with the Packers. It's just the way it is. It's like when Michigan and Michigan State play. No matter how good or bad one team is, it'll be a good game for the most part because of the rivalry. Give me 12.5 points for Detroit.
It will, but
I want to say one thing about this game that it has to be said now because there's a high chance that some fuckery will happen, and I just want to put this out before the game's played. We are the underdog. We are not that good. The Detroit Lions are not that good of a football team right now. This is well aware, correct?
Mhm.
Correct, okay. Green Bay should beat us. They have a lot more potential, a lot more pieces to beat us as a good football team. If you put us 9 times out of 10, Green Bay should win this game, correct? So, if at any point the Lions are making it close and we're in Lambeau and the refs try any bullshit to where they fuck the Lions over like they always do and they suck Aaron Rodgers' dick like they always do, and it's another situation of the Lions getting fucked over by the refs to the Packers when we are not supposed to win and the Packers are supposed to destroy us anyway, I'm going to be so absolutely pissed that this Miller Lite sign fucking behind me is going to end up into 19 different pieces around my basement if it happens. It will be absolutely annoying as fuck.
Well, Adams, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. TJ Hawkinson, 75 yards and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns. I think this game is going to be a high-scoring game, and I would bet the over because Green Bay's defense is lacking. Lions team is lacking.
Thanks.
Rodgers will take advantage of every piece of us he can with his favorite guy.
Facts.
But Hawkinson, at the end of the day, is the best receiver we have.
Mm-hmm.
And the second best receiver is running backs. So.
And Swift can't catch.
Facts.
And Swift can't catch.
Facts.
Okay, listen.
Swift can't catch.
This week.
For 11.
Listen, this week, there aren't going to be any fucking fairy tales, okay? This is going to be an utter potential domination from Green Bay to answer back from their horrible, absolutely atrocious week 1. And now they get a Lions team who's absolutely hot garbo. I understand we always put up fights with them. It's always a close no matter what. But honestly, it's looking like it ain't even going to be like that because how bad the Detroit is and how bad Green Bay needs to answer back. So I'm about to brew up my parlay from last year. We are going to get Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams get going on a fat parlay because they might smash it against Detroit.
Make it right now. Go.
Well, okay. We'll have to see what MGM allows me because
give it to the people, Luke.
All right. Aaron Rodgers over 300 yards, 3 TDs. Let's go Devontae Adams over 115, 1 TD.
There you have it.
Damn.
Bet him 2. This is Jesse's knowledge. Bet him for 2. Devontae, if he has just 1 touchdown, I will be very shocked.
I had too many issues last year with the 2 touchdowns. I don't like betting the 2 touchdowns.
He's gonna get 2 routes. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's 2 deep routes or a short touchdown.
Well, I might listen to you and bump it up to 2.
Listen to me, Luke, please. I got you. Please. Everyone who makes that bet, you can come at me about how much money you lost because of it. Personally, attack me, please. Because
anyone who makes that 1 touchdown bet, you know, you're gonna be thanking me.
One guys can pull up.
Well, after our whole run through of all of the nonsense, I know we disagreed on a few picks, but my 15-leg parlay on FanDuel for about $10 is gonna potentially win me $274,000. So good luck to the rest of you guys.
Hey.
I am placing my bet. Hopefully we can get a house.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Ride the Tide House.
Ride the Tide House.
Go to Vegas Sports Advantage. Obviously, you know the deal. They're winning. Like we said Monday. At this point, there's nothing else more we can really say. You know everything. You know it.
You
all.
know everything. You know the deal.
It's the best place to go for sports betting. Come on now. Just stop playing yourself. Go to Ride the Tide socials. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. And anything else? Anyone got anything else?
That's just about it. Follow us on Twitter and everything else at Ride the Tide 586. hit up the sports picks with @Vegas Sports Advantage. Actually, it's @Vegas Bets for You on Twitter. But yeah, give them a follow. Get those picks. They're in the link in our bio. Have a great time betting this weekend, and good luck to everyone that's taking those picks. We'll see you Monday.
Peace.
Ride the Tide Sports Podcast is brought to you by Vegas Sports Advantage.
Welcome to VegasSportsAdvantage.com, the website where you can win with us. It doesn't matter if your favorite team is playing.
It doesn't matter what you think.
What matters is which team has the best odds to win. Our MIT team has had a winning record every year for the past 15 years. This gives us the confidence to guarantee all of our packages. We have the highest verified record. Don't miss out. Get in the game. It doesn't matter which sport it is.